Hello, LEC community. I'm Lexi Rios, Marketing Manager for the Latinx Education Collaborative. I am here with Deanna Mera. She has been nominated for Latinx Educator of the Year. Hi, Deanna.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Well, thank you.
Good. I'm so excited to talk to you today, get to know you a little bit more. So starting off, tell us about yourself.
Okay, so I am a teacher, an ESLL teacher at New Chelsea Elementary School in the Kansas City, Kansas public school system. I came here from Mexico in my second year of education to KCKPS. I graduated from JC Harmon in the same district. I took advantage of a lot of the opportunities given me there. I played a lot of sports, did a lot of extracurricular activities, met a lot of wonderful teachers and coaches who were my mentors in getting me into the next step, which was where I ended up at the University of St. Mary. It was very difficult, I'm not going to lie, as a first generation Latina in college. It was difficult, but I had a lot of great people supporting me. I got my education and my degree in elementary education. I went into college as a dreamer, so I wasn't sure where I was going to be once I graduated. But I knew I needed to have my degree. Like, that's something that was a non-negotiable for my parents and for myself. So then DACA passed, luckily, and once that passed, I came back to my community and started checking off my to-do list. I became a coach at JC Harmon, which is where I graduated, a soccer coach for the girls there. And then I was working at development in Bishop Ward. So I wasn't in the classroom yet, but I was back in the school setting. So that felt good. One of my professors from the university reached out and had me apply for a graduate assistant position. So I got that position, and I was the GA for the theology and English department at the university. So I did that while getting my master's in education with an emphasis of English as a second language. And eventually, once I graduated from there, I knew that this was the school district that I wanted to be at. So I came back, applied, got a job at Wellborn Elementary School, where I taught third and fourth grade. And then eventually I was like, okay, I've had experience in the classroom. What I wanted to do was work with the ESL community population. And so I applied for that job, and now I'm here.
Yeah. Awesome. That's awesome. Well, how do you feel about being nominated?
Oh, I'm thankful and honored. I've been watching a couple of the nominees and just incredibly humble to be in the same category as a lot of those wonderful educators.
Love that. Well, you definitely deserve to be here too. I was reading some of your nomination and I'm like, I could see it. I could see it. So, and I love that, some of your story really aligns with what you're doing right now. I think that's awesome. I'm sure it's really fun to be in your classroom. Can you remind me, what grade are you?
So right now I'm an ESL teacher, so I'm teaching K through fifth. I collaborate with a lot of the educators at New Chelsea, and so we work hard to provide our ESL students as much support as we can.
Yeah, of course. That's awesome. So why does representation matter to you?
Representation, I think that's why I am in the role that I am. That's why I'm still in my community. Growing up, it was hard to see other Latina teachers in it was hard to see a lot of Hispanic people in the community when I first came here. You know, even meeting somebody who spoke Spanish out and about in the groceries. I remember one time I was so hyped because somebody spoke to my mom in Spanish. So it's that feeling of wanting to come back in the community and being a positive role model, and you know, being in those classrooms of those few Hispanic teachers that I had, it felt like home. It felt like, you know, even being called Diana and not Diana was huge. And also for my parents, knowing that they could communicate with the teacher, they, you know, we didn't have to worry about a translator and all that stuff. So that was the thing that really drove me and made me want to be like, one day I want to be like them. So that's why I'm here. You know, I want to be able to provide that comfort, that feeling of home for my students and my families, and also just, you know, I remember being that little third grader in Miss Historia's class and being like, one day I'll be like her, because if she can do it, I can do it, because she understands me, she knows my background, and so I want to give that same like feeling and support for our families, and let them know that their kids could be anything. And also for my coworkers, letting them know, you know, like, this kid, yeah, they're in second grade, they don't speak any English, but look at me, I'm here with a master's degree, and I was just like them. So
Yes.
it's huge. Representation is huge, and it's important, and it is why I'm here.
Yes, I love that. I love that. You know, I'm hearing that you're saying representation matters, right? It's kind of the baseline, but then also like pushing the students and like speaking up and saying things, connecting with the people, with the parents, the students, and the teachers around you. I think that's a big thing too that sometimes isn't mentioned is like sometimes you have to be the one, right? Like when other teachers don't have that experience or they don't understand that journey and they maybe can't see it in their kids yet and you have to kind of be the one to push like that's a whole thing.
Yeah, advocating is definitely huge in my role.
Yeah, I'm sure. And I'm sure your students appreciate it so much because who knows, right? Sometimes you might be the only one speaking up for them and I know that that has to matter a lot for them and their parents as well. That's awesome. Love to hear it. Um, I did want to read you from your nomination. Um, so someone, when asked why they wanted to nominate you, I won't read it all, but I'll read a couple parts. It says, I would like to proudly nominate Miss Deanna Mera for Latinx Teacher of the Year. Building a career that focuses especially on serving vulnerable groups of students, Miss Mera exemplifies both a great teacher and the representative of the Latinx community. Sorry. Um, Miss Mera is a wonderful teacher who has committed her career to helping those who need it most. She consistently goes above and beyond to make sure her students feel safe, accepted, and loved, and she would be a fantastic selection for Teacher of the Year. Um, they mentioned that you grew up playing soccer, and I know you mentioned you've been coaching. I'm sure that's you played in college?
I played in college for a little bit. I eventually broke my leg, and then I was like, okay, I'm done. But yes, I did go to St. Mary's,
Oh,
playing soccer. So it was an exciting, challenging time.
oh, I bet they said she has since shared her love of the game by coaching soccer from kindergarten through high school. She is currently a coach for her girls' schools for Girls on the Run program. That's a great program promoting and modeling health and wellness for the young ladies at her school. Wow. Um, there's a whole lot in here. Kind of speaking on, you know, your own experience and how much you bring that into your classroom. And I just want to lift that for a second and say, like, that is amazing that you bring that with you, you know, and to be in a place where you have the opportunity to do that, I think is amazing. And other people obviously see that and want to let you know that they see it and they value it too. I can only imagine what the other teachers in your school feel.
Thank you.
So another question for you, how can we build the right conditions for the advancement of Latinx youth? I know you kinda talked about it a little bit already.
Yeah, so that's part of my job right now, only in the academic side. Like, how do we reach our multilingual learners? What can we do to differentiate our instruction? But also, like I said, sharing my background with my colleagues, sharing, some of our culture. Like, a lot of the times, it's like, no, our parents aren't not engaged. They just trust you as a professional. That's just the way
Mm,
we've been raised. So a lot of that advocating and rallying around our families as well. Like, how do we support them? How do we engage? Like I said, first generation, I didn't know the steps of getting into college. And I know I'm in the elementary level, but I already tell my kids. So then these are the steps you get to take so that you can eventually end up being, my doctor eventually, or the engineer building, like, helping them build our communities. So it's definitely rallying around our community, giving them the support as well with, like, so our parents, our students, and our teachers.
absolutely, yes. I'd agree, community, when they say it takes a village, like, that's a part of that, right? Um, well, I have one more question for you. What keeps you going?
Whew. I revisit that daily because I'm going to tell you, we know education is not a walk in the park. There's difficult days, but it's definitely my why. As cliche as that sounds, why did I start? How did I get here? And it's honoring my parents' sacrifice, like knowing that their journey to this country was worth it. Um, Ooh. But even just walking through the hallways, like, I'm like, "Oh, girl, you did that," like, "You're here." Like, it was never a guaranteed thing, and so being able to be here every day, I'm like, "Okay, that took sacrifice. You wouldn't have gone through everything you went through, um, if you didn't think that being here was important." So that keeps me going daily, and obviously my students, all the little sorry, all
Mhm.
the little, achievements, all the little things that they do, like, seeing them coming in here and not knowing anything, feeling that loss, and then eventually it clicking, and they're starting to open up, and the family members saying, "Thank you, I really appreciate you helping me, understand what this person was saying, so that I could better support my kid." So all of those little moments are definitely what keep me going, but
Mhm.
especially, yeah, that sacrifice for my parents, and all that it took to get here. It was not an easy journey, but I'm very grateful, and I truly believe in my heart that I am where I belong.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing. Is there anything else, you wanna share with everybody today?
I just feel incredibly grateful and and honored to even be having this conversation with you, and outlining some of the things that I've gotten to do in my
Yeah.
career.
Yes, so we're so honored to be here with you, every single teacher in this category, but, I do wanna say, like, it's just not by chance, like, there's so many people, I'm sure, that see a lot of the great work you're doing, and we're grateful to have the platform to be able to highlight that. And so it's been so great talking to you today. Thank you for joining me. LEC community, you heard it here. Deanna Mera, she is doing great work. And we look forward to hearing from you again sometime. Thank
Thank
you.